Hey, how's it going? All right, so M18. This is a clear, unloaded weapon. No round in the chamber. And the reason I'm making this video is because, well, if you're like me, you either own this gun or you want to own the gun, and you want to put a sight on it, specifically the Romeo1Pro. So I did due diligence and wanted to look online and search for videos, and I came across a video. There's a 6-hour guy. He's a guy on you can find on YouTube. He has a video out there showing putting on a Romeo sight on a P320. Okay, this is a P320, but this is the M18. I did not see a video of the M18, hence me making this video. The reason being is that during the installation of the Romeo1Pro, I came across what's called the loaded chamber indicator, which is, I'm not sure if you can see with the lighting in this room, but it's this little part, if you will, where when a round is in the chamber, it sticks up just a little bit. Well, so in the video that I saw from 6-hour guy, his P320 didn't have one. The M18 does. So when I removed the upper cap, right, that sits below the rear sight to put the optic on, there was a spring sitting under that loaded chamber indicator that kind of got loose, and I bent it trying to put it back in, not knowing how it was supposed to go in. So what I ended up doing was I ordered another spring from 6-hour. They sent it in and I got it, and I decided to make a video for those who might have the same issue, or to prevent you from having the same issue, I should say. So there you go. That's the reason I wanted to make a little pre-video before the video to kind of explain what happened in my case. And so in the video, you'll see obviously the sight's already mounted, so you'll see it'll be like a removal and then a installation of the 6-hour sight, the Romeo1Pro. And there's a few other things. I had just taken it to the range, so the gun itself was dirty, so I decided, well, let's see how these products act towards, how do these solvents act towards the gunpowder. And so I kind of, went off base. It's not only about the installation process, but again, that's just me taking advantage of making the video and kind of putting things all in one video. So I hope you enjoy. Thanks for watching, and hope this helps somebody. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and remove the Crimson Trace light. This is not a required step, but again, I'm cleaning this weapon as well, so I'm going to go ahead and take it off.
There's a little nut on that other side that holds that in. I picked this up on Amazon. I'll try to remember if I can to include all the links for what I'm using, so that if anybody's interested, they can. So I'm gonna.
I'll try to remember if I can to include all the links for what I'm using, so that if anybody's interested, they can. So I'm gonna show you here. After I probably put, I don't know, 200 rounds through this. And you could see where a lot of this gun residue showed up on the lens of this light, of this Crimson Trace light. But it's still very, very good. It works just fine. There's nothing wrong. That beam shines right through that, gunpowder. So while I have this out, I'm going to go ahead and spray a little bit of this M18 7 cleaner on here, and this is an instant reaction to that. So that was a spray, and you can still see, I didn't let it sit on there very well, but you can still see how there is residue on that lens. I'm sure if I scrubbed at it some more, it'll come off. So let's go ahead and do that again. So you can see even a little scrub, and I've still got residue on there. So I'm just going to spray that down, let it soak. All right. Again, firearm is not loaded. There is no magazine, chamber, there's no round in the chamber. All right, so the first thing we're going to do, or second thing, is we're going to remove this slide. Set this back to where that little indention is right over there, and rotate that, and it'll come right off. So I've removed the barrel and the spring. And I'm going to remove the Romeo1Pro, which will require a Torx T15.
Hopefully, after I remove these and put it back on, it'll still be zeroed in. You can see I have the shroud on there as well.
Right, so you can see where a lot of that, and I should also note the window here also took a lot of gunpowder residue, but the light, I mean the beam still is on, and you can see it very clearly. I'm not sure how that's going to come out at all. So I'm going to go ahead and spray this down. This time I'm going to use this contact cleaner. You can see even with the contact cleaner, it still leaves a little bit of residue on there. So it's probably going to take me a little while to scrub that off. All right. So here is the loaded chamber indicator I'm referring to, and here is, you can see how it easily comes up when there's nothing on top of it. The way, so let's go back to, this little cap sitting on here, slides just in. rear sight, slides in like that. And the way these are contained or held on is by 2 screws in the bottom, right? There are these here. So I'm going to just you can only access one of these until you remove the extractor assembly. So I'm going to go ahead and show you that. Let's just put one in there to hold it. All right, so I've got the cap and the side on, temporarily held in on one side. You cannot access the other screw, which again I've already taken out, until you remove the extractor, the striker assembly, and the slide cap. So let's go ahead and show you how to do that. The first thing you want to do is you want to go ahead and hold down, take a punch. You're going to press on this pin on the back of the extractor spring. Push down, and then you can slide the cap. The slide cap will come right back. All right. Now you can go ahead and remove the striker assembly. Okay. And then you're going to want to go ahead and also remove the extractor pin, and the spring. Let's keep in mind that that's going to go, when it goes in, that's the way it's going to go in, so that it makes contact with that. You don't want to put it in that way, with the face, with the little edge to the bottom. You want to put that like so. And the extractor will just fall out. And that can only go in one way. All right, so once you've gotten those removed, you can remove the plate, because you've now allowed yourself access to the other hole, where you'll take your, again, you're going to be using the Allen wrench and removing the other screw that was in there. So we'll simulate that I already removed that. I'm going to go ahead and remove the other one that I already put back in.
So this is where I got caught, because
at this point, once both screws are removed, you can take off the rear sight. You can take off the plate. Once you take off that plate, once you remove that plate, it exposes the loaded chamber indicator. And my mistake the first time was that spring came out because this thing popped off. And then there, as you can see, I bent it. If you can see how bent that is. So let's go ahead and get the new one installed. Okay, I went ahead and cleaned this up a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and install the loaded chamber indicator. Take the spring out, new spring. This is not an easy task. You've got to be pretty nimble. Alright, that should do it. We're going to go ahead and put the Romeo1Pro back on. Alright, so I went ahead and cleaned this up. I paused the video for a brief moment, but as you can see, I got most of that gunpowder residue off the front end of that, and the windows have been cleaned both on the inside and outside of the Romeo1Pro. I just use a basic, glass cleaner, lens cleaner, and then they give you a little wiping cloth, polishing cloth, if you will, when you purchase this. So I just use that, and yeah, cleaned up real nice. Okay, so going back to the install. Loaded chamber indicator, spring installed. Romeo1Pro is going to sit right on top of it. This is kind of where the tricky part comes into play. Basically going to be mounting this on top of the loaded spring indicator without it, coming out. You do one or two ways. You can try to just, set it on there. And you'll have a little bit of bounce with your seat, so you can show you that spring is active, or that it's installed properly. Or what you can do, and what I prefer to do, is kind of visually look, make sure that spring's in there right, and then I'm going to push it down and hold it with my other finger, and then I'm going to set that on top. So those holes are going to line up just right to get the screw in there seated properly. To get one started, and get the other one on. Okay, and then I'm going to use this made by Wheeler. It's called FAT wrench, which is basically just a small, I don't know what you want to call it, armorer's wrench. And so I'm going to put this torque head. So the instruction manual calls for 25 to 28 inch-pounds. So the way to adjust this is you pull this out and you turn it. It's set at 10 right now because 10 is the recommended torque for the battery cap. I've already done that. So when you get it, just make sure you torque that to 10 inch-pounds. So let's go ahead and crank this up to right about.
There's 20. And there's 25. Let's crank a little more. Right below 30. Okay.
You should hear an audible click when this is torqued. Right there. Right there. Okay, so there you have it, the installation of the Romeo1Pro on a M18. Okay, so I've cleaned that up a little bit. Let's go ahead and set the extractor in. This is only going to go in one way. You can't really. We're going to go ahead and slide in the extractor pin and spring. Again, you're not not want to go in this way with the notch down. You're going to want to go this way with the notch. Well, I guess the notch is technically down instead of up. You should see it come in contact with it. It's kind of hard to see. There it goes. All right, let's go ahead and put in the striker assembly. So you're going to take your slide cap, you're going to push down on the striker assembly. This notch will go down. And you're just going to get it started like so. Once you get started, don't want to go all the way up, just about halfway or so. You're going to take your punch. You're going to come back down and push down completely on the pin. Push the slide cap the rest of the way. Release. Okay. Alright, so let's go ahead and get this slide back on. I went ahead and cleaned everything up. Install the barrel. Spring. Okay. And we're going to slide it on. There you have it. So, thanks for watching. Hope this helps somebody out. And have fun shooting. I know I did.